against cancer. Visit v.org/donate. All donations benefit the V Foundation for Cancer Research.
What just went down with Lakers basketball? We get you closer to all you need to know right now. This is the Lakers Locker Room Report.
The ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network.
Highlights, stats, key moments in the game.
Lakers snap their 5-game losing streak. They win in Philly tonight, courtesy of a Brandon Ingram three-pointer with 0.4 seconds left in the game. 107-104 is the final score, and I understand that Philly is in the midst of trusting the process, and you're starting to see that they've got a handful of guys that can really play, and that the Lakers are in the midst of building their future as well. But I really want to see these two teams play each other a whole bunch more. That we're done for the year is a bummer.
It's sad because they've played 2 games. They've both been awesome. The Lakers got great performance. Like, it brought out the best stuff in a lot of the best players on both of these teams. Ben Simmons, another triple-double tonight. Joel Embiid had a great game again. You mentioned Brandon Ingram. Lonzo Ball had one of, I think, his most complete games as a pro. Julius Randle, particularly down the stretch, was just dominant, and the energy that he brought to that game was fantastic. I understand these are not the two best teams in the league, but you get 2 young teams with a lot of talent who I think sense that there is a little bit of that competition of, like, we both want to be next and bring the best stuff out of each other.
Yeah.
Give me 5 more of these.
I was going to ask,
I don't need games versus Sacramento.
No,
Give me more of this.
No more Phoenix, no more Sacramento.
No, don't need that.
The Philadelphia 76ers. Is that what it is, that they both kind of maybe see in the other, that and the Sixers are probably further along in the process than the Lakers are.
Probably. They are.
But is that what it is, that they see something of themselves in the other, and that's why they play these games? Because these 2 games, you and I have watched every Laker game there is to watch this season. These are the 2 most fun games, at least off the top of my head, that I can think of.
Through Golden State, the other Golden State game, but that was a game too where the Warriors were sort of just throwing the ball around, and like they knew, we'll win eventually. I think it is that aspect of understanding. People look at when these teams play, and they'll tell which stars are better. Who do I think is going to be better? Is it going to be Simmons or Ingram? Is it going to be Embiid or is it going to be Lonzo? Like, who's going to be the next great star in the NBA? Right. I mean, those are rhetorical in some ways. But that's what you're right. But that's part of the reason that Philly's further ahead in the quote-unquote process. We're not even talking about Covington, who is another excellent player that the Sixers have. We got a little taste. I remember last year when the Lakers played Minnesota and had it was that kind of thing where you could tell, Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins and it was Russell last year and Ingram. Everybody got kind of jacked up because the whole point of this game was who's next.
Yeah,
and they get that.
Lakers win 107-104. Brandon Ingram with a shot right before the buzzer was the difference. We'll come back. We'll talk about B.I. and how he looked tonight. That's next on the Lakers Locker Room on the ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network.
Pittsburgh Steelers cornerback Artie Burns had to learn to do it all after the death of his mother when he was a junior in college. Join me, Jen Latta, for the SC Featured podcast on Apple Podcasts and the ESPN app.
The showdown at the Superdome. Troy, North Texas. The R+L Carriers New Orleans Bowl.
Walters into the end zone for a touchdown.
Saturday, December 16th, 1 Eastern on ESPN and ESPN Radio.
This is Tammy, previously on the Fall Time Bomb Show.
One of our favorite callers, Q in Deep Gap.
Hello, Paul. And the thought occurs to me that any coach that would satisfy the Tennessee fan base wouldn't touch that athletic anarchy problem in the administrative section of Tennessee with a 10-foot pole.
If I respond to that, I will get ejected out of my chair.
Well, that's all right. Paul, you fly well. I'd like to see them go after the most brilliant young offensive mind they can find with a graduated contract. Would be key to the number of victories over 5 years that young man could produce with an unlimited budget to buy the best assistant coaches that their checkbook could come forth with.
Paul Feinbaum Show. Weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and on the SEC network.
Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive's #1, #2 employee. Leave a message at the... Hey, Jamie, it's me, Jamie. This is your daily pep talk. I know it's been rough going ever since people found out about your a cappella group, Mad Harmony, but you will bounce back. I mean, you're the guy always helping people find coverage options with the Name Your Price tool. It should be you giving me the pep talk. Now get out there, hit that high note, and take Mad Harmony all the way to nationals this year. Sorry, it's pitchy.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Capping everything from tonight's Lakers game.
The Lakers Locker Room Report.
On the ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network.
107-104 is the final score. The Lakers are back on the right side of things. They snapped their 5-game losing streak. The Charlotte Hornets coming up next on Saturday. Lakers improved to 9-15. And Brandon Ingram with the shot right before the buzzer, 0.8 seconds left to give the Lakers the win. And that looked coming out of his hands like it was good the whole way. He caught it, he shot it, and it was just, it was a swish, nothing but net. And these are the sorts of moments that we're seeing, maybe not game winners like that, but Brandon Ingram, every game, is a little more comfortable, a little more, I'm real good at this. Mm-hmm. And it's so much fun to watch him start to blossom into the player that Laker fans were hoping.
And you look at it tonight, Travis, and it was not his most efficient game. It wasn't his best game or whatever. Missed 5 of his 10 free throws. He hit only 7 of his 21 shots. Mm-hmm. He needed, 21 shots to get 21 points. But he had 7 rebounds. He had 6 assists. He had a block. He was active. And then, again, when you get to that last moment, he catches and he shoots. And look, I realized there was a second left in the clock. The ball's got to go up. Mm-hmm. But there was no hesitation. There was confidence. He clearly is a guy who believes I am going the right direction in this league. I can play with anyone. That's, that Golden State game where he goes toe-to-toe with Kevin Durant for 48 minutes. That means a lot to a kid like Brandon Ingram who believes in himself but needs that tangible proof. Mm-hmm. Kevin Durant is Kevin freaking Durant.
Sure.
And he was right up there with him toe-to-toe for a game, and that means a lot.
It's starting to make itself clear that, and we've talked about this a lot, the Lakers don't have a quote-unquote best player, the guy that just said, here, you take care of it, you fix this, you go win the game for us, we got 2 minutes to go, we need a couple of buckets in a row, that we've seen so many other great players in the league go and take over a game down the stretch. The Lakers haven't had that. It feels like they're starting to get one, that when things get a little squirrely, he's the guy that they're going to look to.
Yeah, because he can put the ball on the floor, and he can attack the basket. He can get to the rim on anybody. He's so long, you can't keep him from getting where he's going. And if that outside shot develops to the point where people have to pay attention to him, then I hate making the Durant comparison because it's just lazy because they're just so long.
They're tall and skinny.
Right, tall and skinny. And Brandon Ingram isn't Kevin Durant in terms of just the freakish offensive skill. But it's not ridiculous because if Ingram can shoot and develop that part of his game, you can't stop him from shooting. He's too tall and too long. And he already has shown he can get to the rim on anybody. And he will be that kind of player that you can put the ball in his hands at the end of a game, and he will be able to create a shot.
Joel Embiid had 33, 7, and 6. A big night for him, but the Lakers did a much better job on him tonight than they did the last time they saw him. We'll talk about that next on the Lakers Locker Room on the ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network.
ESPN's Rod Gilmore.
In July of 2016, I was diagnosed with a blood cancer known as multiple myeloma. It's a disease that starts in your bone marrow, it attacks your liver, and attacks your bones. My first thought went to, how do I tell my family? How do I tell my wife? How do I tell my kids? And then the second thing that I thought about was how I want to live my life. I didn't want cancer to rule the day. I started chemotherapy right away. Currently, there is no cure for multiple myeloma. But in the last few years, research has provided a number of treatments that help patients like myself. And it's organizations organizations like the V Foundation that support that research and give cancer patients like me hope. So I hope you support the V Foundation and all the work that it's doing to fight against cancer.
Join ESPN and the V Foundation in the fight against cancer. Visit v.org/donate. All donations benefit the V Foundation for Cancer Research.
It's Golick and Wingo. Delighted to be joined now in studio by our front office insider, Louis Riddick.
Kansas City Chiefs' problems extend beyond Alex Smith in the quarterback position. You saw it. Look, I love Alex. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to be one of the best quarterbacks we've seen coming in this league on a long time. I believe they believe that too. And you know what? If you went back and you watched again some of his preseason play and you saw some of their practice film, you'd be going,
It's Golick and Wingo, 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Sí, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
I want to congratulate Roy Bellamy on being a new father.
I did tell him, months in advance, hey, enjoy the last few times that you're going to be right in any sort of argument. Because once you have the baby, you're no longer right. And you'll never be right again. And you're not going to sleep for at least another 6 or 7 years. So you got that to look forward to, Roy.
Thanks to God.
Yep.
The Dan Le Batard Show, now 10 to 1 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPNRadio.com.
Here is Brian Cashman on the Michael Kay Show, whether or not Alex Rodriguez was considered as manager for the Yankees.
So I did reach out to Alex and ask him if he had any ideas, any suggestions and things of that nature, and he never volunteered himself. And believe me, I got a lot of people that reached out and asked to be considered, and you couldn't interview everybody. And engaging Alex on a few occasions, obviously not once did he volunteer like he might have an interest in this.
What
world am I living in?
It sounds like he could have been manager if he wanted to be.
It's like Cashman's like, well, he didn't bring it up, and I didn't want to insult him by offering him the job. Like these people were fighting over his salary and banned him from the sport for a year. And now he dates J-Lo and everybody wants him back. And, hey, I know Brian Cashman is the single most powerful voice you've heard in the Yankee organization. And when he needs advice, where does he go? What?
It's the Lakers Locker Room Report.
Lakers basketball is the final.
Recapping everything from tonight's Lakers game on the ESPN LA Lakers Radio Network.
Lakers with a win to open up their 4-game road trip. They beat the Sixers 107-104. And Joel Embiid, who dropped 46, 15, 7, and 7 on the Lakers when they were in Los Angeles. Another big night for him as well. 33 points to go along, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 5 blocks this time. But the Lakers did a better job on him. Julius Randle in particular, I thought, fared better than he did the last time they played, which is, by the way, he's given away, 4 or 5 inches to Embiid and probably 30 pounds. That's at least not an easy assignment.
And to say that about Julius Randle, who is a big,
strong man,
big fella,
is
impressive. What I thought was great too about Julius's performance is he started off on the number in front of him. He was struggling from the field again early in this game, as he did against Embiid and the Sixers the first time around, and he didn't let it bother him. I think he finished that first Philly game 1 for 10 or something really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And he was 1 or 2 for 6 in this game, 2 for 7, and he rallied and he sort of stayed with it. And the energy and the effort that he put out over the last 5 or 6 minutes of this game, when you combine it with what Ingram did, when you combine it with what Lonzo did, it was a huge reason they were able to win.
16 points for Julius Randle tonight, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, and a block. And late in that game, look, the Lakers were on the verge of blowing a big lead. This would have been a really disappointing loss because the Lakers had this game in a chokehold a couple of different times.
Up by 16, 17 points.
And it felt like, okay, they're going to win comfortably. And the Sixers kept hanging around, and then, of course, it's tied late. Julius Randle had a couple of big defensive plays, a couple of big offensive plays that, well, he wasn't their best player tonight. He might have been their most important player down the stretch.
He was close. I mean, he may have, it's him maybe, it's Lonzo. I mean, B.I. hit the shot at the end. That was obviously, the game winner. Did he play the best game I've ever went over? No, it was 7 of 21 from the floor, 21 points on 21 shots. The thing about it is, you're right, they don't necessarily have that classic best player, but they do clearly have a lot of players with talent.
Yeah.
And guys who, when they're all kind of dialed in and playing together, playing well on the same night, it's a fun team to watch.
I'm not convinced they don't have a best player anymore. I think they do.
It might be.
Now, he's not going to be their best player every night.
Right,
but
and that's what you think of when you have...
Yeah, but even LeBron sometimes isn't the best player that night. He might have a bad game.
3 out of 82.
Not very often.
Right.
I agree with you, but Brandon Ingram feels like he's the guy more often.
But you know what it is the Lakers don't really have is just that classic... what Lou Williams did for him last year, where it's like, oh, God, it's the fourth quarter, it's 5 minutes. We need 3 possessions where somebody can just kind of do stuff themselves and overcome tough defenses, whatever it might be. They don't have that. Like, everybody's kind of really good at their own thing, and some of those skill sets overlap, and they certainly underlap in terms of shooting.
Underlap, I like that.
Yeah.
I'm underlapped in numerous areas.
Yeah, they can't. They all seem to have the same non-skill set when it comes to outside shooting. But I like all these guys that they need to be good NBA players in one form or another, whether it's so they can trade them, whether it's so they can keep them, whatever it might be. They're all good.
Mm-hmm.
Are they stars? Don't know. But they're all good NBA players.
107 to 104 is the final. Let's pause 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the ESPN LA Lakers radio network.
Get closer to the Lakers on KSPN Los Angeles. Hear every moment of Lakers basketball on ESPN LA 710 and the ESPN app.
The 5-game losing streak is history. The Lakers are on the right side of things, 107 to 104. We invite you to stay with us for more postgame coverage on our flagship station, ESPN LA 710. We'll take some phone calls there as well. This has been the Lakers Locker Room on the ESPN LA Lakers radio network.
You've been listening to the Lakers Locker Room Report.
Brought to you by
Universal Studios Hollywood.
Spend Christmas at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, November 24th through January 7th, only at Universal Studios Hollywood.
Catch the Lakers Locker Room Report recapping what went down after every Lakers game on the ESPN LA Lakers radio network.
So this house is in a great neighborhood and walking distance from one of the best schools.
And what are they asking?
The asking price is only 24 years of really, really hard work.
Wow, that sounds like a lot.
Well, the house across the road just sold for a few years more.
While other insurance companies just see a house, we see the home you've worked really hard for. So why not give it the protection it deserves?
Tell you what, why don't we offer 23 years with the fast close? We're going to need to sleep on it.
Yeah. State Farm. Call an agent today.
Football Sunday on ESPN Radio. The Vikings, led by Case Keenum, are red hot and rolling in the NFC North with 8 straight wins.
Yeah, anytime you're successful, I think that breeds confidence.
With only 1 loss on the road this season, they face a Carolina Panthers D ranked 6th in total offense. Can Cam Newton get a clutch win and keep pace with the Saints in the NFC South?
We just have to be optimistic of our opportunities.
Football Sunday. Vikings, Panthers, noon Eastern on ESPN Radio.
ESPN's Holly Rowe.
11 days before the college football season this year, I was having a lung biopsy. I found out that I've got more tumors in my lung, and it's tough news, and I overheard one of the nurses say, she's so lucky. This used to be a death sentence. But now we have research that has got drugs on the market and treatments available that are saving my life. And time is precious for me, because after that biopsy, the biggest shot we've ever seen in women's college basketball, Morgan Williams of Mississippi State hitting that shot over a bigger, stronger opponent, UConn. When I asked her after the game what she saw when she rose up to take that shot, she said, opportunity. We do have a bigger, stronger opponent, but as Morgan Williams taught me, opportunity is all we need to beat it.
Join ESPN and the V Foundation in the fight against cancer. Visit v.org/donate. All donations benefit the V Foundation for Cancer Research.
Time for your first chance to react to tonight's Lakers game. Lakers-Sixers is the final tonight. This is the Land Rover postgame show, recapping everything that went down tonight in Philly on ESPN LA 710 and the ESPN app.
Your Southern California Land Rover retailers. Visit them for special lease and finance offers. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Were we able to haul off Simmons and Embiid on the first night of the East Coast Swing Go? And what's ahead for Saturday night in Charlotte? Your reaction, 877-710-ESPN. The Land Rover postgame show tips off now. Here's Travis Rogers and Brian Kamenetsky.
107 to 104, that's your final score from the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia. The Lakers with a win, and not that this team is going to be competing for an NBA title this year, but nice to get that winning streak snapped. I don't care how much we talk about development and getting, players ready for this. You got to win every once in a while. It's nice to get a win tonight.
You do, and it's a good team, and it's on the road. And the Sixers are a good team. They're a top 5 team, I think, right now in the East, and they're up and coming and all that stuff. And it's the first of a 4-game trip, and you've lost 5 in a row, and you know that if you don't win this one, particularly after you get up by 15, 16 points. Then you go to Charlotte, and, they're not terrible at home. And you got the Knicks, and they're not terrible at home. And then you got Cleveland, and they're pretty good everywhere.
They've only won 14 in a row or whatever it is.
And they have, Tristan Thompson.
Yeah, he's good.
He's good. And so, now you're sort of staring at it. And we all know that, the schedule that they have between now and Christmas is like the world's worst advent calendar, where you open a door, and it's just like another team that could maul you.
Yeah.
If you give away a game that you have a chance to win, it's not only it's the disappointment of losing. Now you start to play the games in your head of, oh God, what comes next? We gave this one. You get even more discouraged. Instead, you beat a good team. You held on. They thought they were going to give that game away. No, they played well down the stretch. Lonzo played well. Ingram hit a big shot. Randall was great in the last 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
There is so much they can take from this that can energize them through the trip. And now you just split between Charlotte and New York, and you got a 2-2 trip.
Yeah,
which is better than anybody expected.
I want to go back to how you opened this, because I agree with you. If you said to me, "Are the Sixers a good team?" Absolutely, yes, they're a good team. I think that they're going to go in the playoffs, and I think they're the proverbial team I'd really rather not. Because
particularly in the East.
Yeah, they have 2 guys that are scary. They're, with the loss tonight, factoring the loss, they're the 8th best team in the East. They're 13-11. They're tied for the 8th spot with the Wizards, who are also 13-11.
2 teams that really don't belong.
Right.
There.
So, are they a good team?
Yeah. They're a good team. I didn't say a great team.
13-11 in the East just feels like just a smidge short of good.
Well,
it feels like they're an average team.
I think in the East, I consider any team that isn't like 2-20.
Yeah.
But they've clearly got very good players.
Yeah.
And they're working their way in the right direction. They got off to a bit of a slow start, and kind of overall, I think they're certainly a team that most people think is trending in that direction. The Lakers too. It's like every team is kind of a good team.
Oh no, I'm not saying relative to the Lakers. I'm just saying. Relative to the better teams.
But like, what's the 4th best team in the East is like 15-9,
14-10.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So there's not a whole lot of separation
there
between.
Is not. That's my point. I wonder
Cleveland
if there are
and Boston,
2 good teams in the East.
Cleveland and Boston. Washington's been totally underperforming.
Toronto's 15-7.
Toronto has been good lately. But Milwaukee's been disappointing. Indiana's been surprisingly good, but I don't think anybody really buys that quite yet. There's not a whole lot going on.
No, there isn't. There absolutely is not. The game tonight was just so much fun to watch, and you get a little bit of the sense of what the NBA is going to look like when this generation of the league's best players start to fade out. LeBron is still the best player in this league, followed by Kevin Durant, James Harden, however you want to rank them. But none of these guys, LeBron in particular, are closer to the beginning than they are to the end. They're all closer to the end. Maybe not KD and Harden, but you see Embiid, you see Simmons, and hopefully you see Brandon Ingram, and maybe if you squint hard enough at this point, Lonzo Ball, and you say this is going to be a lot of fun. These 2 teams are going to play important games against one another in the not too distant future.
Yeah, because you can see how these guys can have an impact on all of it. And Lonzo, what do you have, 4 blocks tonight from your point guard?
Yeah, that's good. He does a lot of things out there other than put the ball in the bucket.
Right, and that on his good nights, he's really active in all those ways. And so you start to kind of total these things up, and you see what guys are doing, and then Ben Simmons. I don't think in this one, but the first Staples game, I think Ben Simmons had 6 steals.
Yeah.
Embiid tonight had 6 blocks or 5 blocks.
5,
and he had 7 the last. So it's like. It's not just what makes the LeBrons, what makes Chris Paul, is that when it really gets going, they can impact a game in every way.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just can you put up 35? It's what else can you do? And we saw so much floor game from 4 or 5 guys between these two teams tonight. You get really excited about it.
If you watch this game tonight and somebody said to you, how did Ben Simmons do? I think the reaction would have been, yeah, he was pretty good. He had a triple-double.
He had not just a triple-double where he, squeaks by.
No, he had 12, 13, and 15.
That's good. That's
extraordinary.
Very good.
For a guy that, quote-unquote, can't shoot, that he's averaging 18 points a game and is putting up sneaky, quiet triple-doubles, that's how good that dude is, and he's the second-best player on the team.
Yeah, and you know what makes him so impressive, too, is, he can't shoot from the outside, and not only can't, he just doesn't bother.
Right.
To which I kind of respect. But what he does do, we saw it with that play, puts the ball on the floor against Randall. Instead of driving into him, trying to fit, he's got the little hook, a genuine, unguardable, if you're 6'10", hook shot that he's made. We saw it at Staples Center. We saw it again tonight. So he's figured out the little tricks that he can do, and that's really what Lonzo, if he can get one of those, the floater, the pull up from the elbow, whatever it is, just one or two of those little tricks, he'll be okay.
The block of the game is brought to you by Ritz Plumbing. The next time your pipes are all blocked and backed up, the only place to use is family-owned Ritz Plumbing, in business for over 85 years. RitzPlumbing.com, the block of the game.
Here's Embiid driving baseline, puts it up, blocked by Lopez, controlled by Lopez. Excellent defensive play. They go length of the floor to Nance. Nance is about to fall out of bounds. Somehow got it to Ingram, who dunks it.
That is your block of the game, Brooke Lopez. And let's talk a little bit about the last series in the game where Lonzo made a nice defensive play. He gets the ball, and the Lakers are coming down with a chance to shoot at the end. And it felt like Lonzo had a chance to go to the rim and
thought
finish.
Early in that possession,
yes,
he could have just kept going and gone straight to the rim.
He opted not to.
He opted not to, and to some degree, you kind of break it down. You think about, okay, well, wait a minute. There's still 10 seconds left on the clock. Do I want to drive into a defense?
Then he pulled out.
Right, then he pulled out. So I
had an open look at a three, passed on that opportunity, drove to the basket a second time, and it looked like, again, an opportunity to maybe finish or draw contact.
If he had that little floater, that's where he would have shot it. But Rashawn Holmes was there.
Yep.
Plenty of time, but he could have shot over him.
He kicked it to B.I., who knocks down the shot. Great look, good pass. Lakers win the game. Everybody leaves that's a Laker fan is smiling. He decided not to shoot 3 times in the final 10 seconds of the game. I'm not trying to turn a positive into a negative, but that was clearly the case of somebody that really didn't want to shoot the basketball.
I think particularly the 3, because he came down. Remember, he came down on the 2-for-1 before that, and he put up a shot that was not a good shot. It was. I'm sure he was thinking, I'm going to sneak this in there, get that 2-for-1, and go. But it's just A, the 2-for-1 is overrated, and B, that's not what you want. I didn't mind that he didn't attack off that first opportunity, just because you're right into the teeth of a defense, and there's still enough time left that you're giving Philly the ball back.
I'm okay. Yeah, I agree.
Passing the 3, okay. The floater, the opportunity to finish at the basket against Holmes, who's coming to challenge, that's the one that's interesting to me, because on the one hand, you are right there.
Yep.
I mean, you are 2 feet away from the basket, 3 feet, 4 feet away. On the other hand, which is the better shot? Which is the one that's more likely to go in? Lonzo Ball trying a floater against a closing defender, a challenging defender inside, or the wide open 3 from Brandon Ingram.
Mm-hmm.
And so he made the right play. It's maybe worth asking a couple questions. I'm sure, think about, you don't want him to that. You don't want that to be permanent. Let me put it that way. You don't want that to be a permanent thing where I don't think my opportunity is the best opportunity. But in this particular case, he made the right play. It was a perfect pass to Ingram, right, in his hands, ready to shoot. And it's certainly hard to complain about the result.
No, the result was fantastic. Lakers win 107-104. We'll talk more about it. I think that there's a little bit more meat on that bone. 877-710-ESPN if you'd like to get in and talk about tonight's game. Again, 877-710-3776. We're back with more on the Land Rover Postgame Show on ESPN LA.
Hey girl, have you done something new with your scales? Using new moisturizer? Nice. It really brings out the hazel in your eyes. Oh, hold on. Are you using whitening strips too? Your fangs look good, girl. Really good.
A really charming snake charmer? Surprising. What's not surprising? How much you could save by switching to Geico.
Wait, what? Have you been doing Pilates too?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
ESPN's Trey Wingo.
Unfortunately, my family has a very complicated and convoluted history with cancer. My aunt died of leukemia. My other aunt just passed away in December with another form of cancer. My father-in-law survived his battle with prostate cancer but lost his battle of pancreatic cancer. There are too many stories with cancer like the one I'm sharing with you now. And that's the beauty of the V Foundation. Every single dollar donated goes directly into research for finding a way to prevent and cure cancer. And for so many other families like mine who have been afflicted with this disease on several occasions, we thank you for every penny you give. And to quote Jimmy V, don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Join ESPN and the V Foundation in the fight against cancer. Visit v.org/donate. All donations benefit the V Foundation for Cancer Research.
This is the Land Rover Postgame Show. Highlights from tonight's Lakers game and your reaction on the Lakers line.
Hi, this is Luke Walton on ESPN LA 710 and the ESPN app.
The Land Rover Postgame Show.
Your Southern California Land Rover retailers. Visit them for special lease and finance offers. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Once again, here's Travis Rogers and Brian Kamenetsky.
Lakers win on the road, 107 to 104. Just a weird little quirk of the schedule so far through their first, what would it be now, 24 games of the season. That's the first game the Lakers have won on the road that wasn't in Phoenix. There are other two road wins.
I suspect that's true for a lot of teams, though. Like the Suns are welcoming. It's the Valley of the Sun. And so come, please enjoy our hospitality because they are bad at basketball.
So let's go back to the game-ending sequence because, again, the Lakers won. They needed a win desperately. Good for them. And Lonzo threw a nice pass to Brandon Ingram. He knocks it down. Just for the if
watching Julius on TV looks like he's going like to the Arctic.
Yeah,
cold up there.
If what we're being told is true, and that is Luke Walton saying development, getting better for what's coming next, wins and losses, as much as the losses hurt, wins and losses are secondary to development. If I see that from Lonzo Ball tonight, I'm thinking, okay, we have to shoot one of those shots because here's the thing. If Brandon Ingram had hit the back of the rim and that ball comes out, we're roasting Lonzo right now. That's just a fact.
Yes and no. We're roasting about certain things. I go back to what I was saying before that ultimately, if the idea right now is is your job, Lonzo Ball, to make the best decision. We are so conditioned when we judge athletes, particularly NBA athletes, that they must call their own number. And if you don't call your own number, something is wrong with you. If you decide, you know what, that guy over there is in better shape to do this particular job, that alpha dog me is supposed to, the alpha just, I am raw. If you make that decision, you are a bad person. Like LeBron got filleted for years for making the right play. Mm-hmm. We would actually go on sports radio and we would criticize somebody for not doing the wrong thing because the wrong thing is what alphas do. And we need our players in that situation to be alphas. If 5 years from now Lonzo doesn't have the ability to make that little floater from 3 feet away and has to pass out to somebody on the perimeter, we got a problem. Tonight, to recognize I have a shot that I don't think I've hit all year versus a guy who's coming very hard to close, and Rashawn Holmes can jump if nothing else, or I can kick it out to this guy standing wide open who will take an uncontested jumper. I pass the ball to that guy.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think he should be criticized for it. Travis.
Yeah, well, Brandon and Hacienda Heights. Let's go right there. You are on the Land Rover Postgame Show. Brandon, what's going on?
Yeah, I'm calling about that Lonzo drive at the end right there.
Okay.
I think he made the right move because if you look, there's 3 defenders at the bottom, and Holmes comes off of Ingram. And Ingram's wide open. And I think regardless, if he shoots that, and he misses it, we flame him because he takes a shot over 3 in that situation, he made the right play, he made the right pass.
You tell him, Brandon.
Look, everything I've been told is that this guy is the second coming of Magic Johnson. He decided not to shoot 3 times in the last 10 seconds of the game. I'm worried about that. That's it.
I know, I get it.
And I get that the shot went down. I get that they won the game, and I'm happy about that. I love what I'm seeing.
Did you? Okay, let me ask you this question. Did you like it when he took the 3 on the possession before?
No, because there was 30 seconds left in the game at that point. The one that really kind of sticks with me was the first run out. After he made the great defensive play to get the ball. Love that. I would like to see him
kept going.
Go to the rim and see what happens. Either finish there, get fouled, go to the line.
Because that was
50% foul
he was
shooter,
very successful at that over the course. This is one of his best games.
I would like to have seen that shot go up.
He attacked tonight. He did very well with that, which is, again, I've harped on this a lot. It'd be great if he could shoot 40% from 3.
Yeah.
But really what he needs to be able to do is boost that percentage at the rim significantly and become a threat inside there. And tonight he was much more aggressive and much more effective inside. I don't want it to become a habit where he says I can't do it.
What I'm saying.
But
that's my point.
He is wired to who is standing around me, who has the best shot. If it's me, then I'll take it. If it's not me, I will throw the ball to the guy who does. And that is how he is wired. That is what the Lakers drafted. And tonight he made the right choice.
877-710-ESPN if you'd like to get in and talk. Keith in Los Angeles. Keith, you are on the Land Rover Postgame Show.
Hey, guys. So happy for Brandon. The first of many game-winning shots that we're going to see from him. I would argue that he's top 5 20-year-old of all time. I think Kevin Durant and LeBron are probably the only ones. I was looking at the Greek Freak stats, and at 20 years old, he was averaging 12.5 points a game. Not anywhere close to what Brandon's doing this year.
Yeah, the only second-year player who's doing what Ingram is doing statistically is Joel Embiid, and he is an asterisk in that regard.
Right, and and I don't know, Embiid's 22 years old.
Yeah, he's older.
At 20, it's ridiculous. But I'm calling because I feel like our team every night has to go up against the other team and also has to go up against Luke Walton and his ridiculous coaching rotations and decisions at the end of games.
Yeah.
Jordan Clarkson had 16 points in 14 minutes. We get the ball with 28 seconds left. After they tie the
Keith,
game.
I'm going to jump in on you for no other reason than your phone line is awful, and I want to respond to what you said. That crackling's killing me. I can barely hear what you're saying. What do you make of that? This has been something that after every game people are frustrated with. Luke, they had this guy on the court, they didn't have this guy, or they had this guy instead of that guy. That there are 5 guys who can be on the court at any given time, and it seems like guys are going to be critical of Luke no matter what he does.
I believe we've reached that point because it's very obvious on nights where Lonzo's not playing well or you have something like that, and it's just one guy deserves to be on the floor and one guy doesn't. This wasn't one of those nights. Lonzo was very effective, moving the ball around, finding open shooters, attacking the rim, and creating shots for other people. And so I would want him on the floor in that situation. Could you argue then maybe you could swap out, Kuzma for Nance and this, all these other. Yes, but Kuzma wasn't wildly effective tonight.
No, Kuzma was off tonight.
Clarkson, okay, Clarkson's on. Who's off? Well, you want Lonzo on the floor with Clarkson, and now KCP's not on the floor. I kind of want KCP on the floor in critical defensive possessions, certainly more than Jordan Clarkson. And so, look, when he is not choosing between Magic, Worthy, Kareem, whatever, and then it's like, you know what? Just for fun, I'm going to bring Mike Smrek, for
Mike Smrek.
Two plays. I don't know if they overlapped, and don't at me, okay? It's like, if you either get my point or you don't.
Quite frankly, if you care about Mike Smrek enough, do at him.
Unless you are Mike Smrek, I don't want to hear from you.
Great name, by the way.
Great.
Yeah.
You can't. It's not going to be perfect every time because on a night where the Lakers are playing well, you kind of hope that there's somebody who's going to be unavailable to be on the floor. Nance had 7 rebounds in 22 minutes. He had 11 points, put up 7 shots. He had 2 steals. He was a +6. He was playing well defensively. Good guy to have on the floor. Good guy to have out there. KCP structure. He had Randall out there. He didn't, sit him down for Corey Brewer or something. it's not going to be perfect every night because the Lakers don't have 2 or 3 guys that are obvious calls every single time. And on a good night, they have 7 or 8 guys who are playing well.
Corey Brewer, just 1 minute tonight, didn't get on the court very much at all. The Drive of the Game brought to you by L.A. Car Guy. Check out monthly specials and browse the inventory of all 11 L.A. Car Guy dealerships on one website, lacarguy.com. The Drive of the Game.
Clarkson one-on-one with Amir Johnson. Clarkson sizing him up. Crosses Amir over. Got to the rim. Lays it up and in. Beautiful driving layup by Jordan Clarkson, who has a team-high 16.
Jordan Clarkson with your Drive of the night. 107-104 is the final score. We're back with more of your phone calls. 877-710-ESPN. 877-710-3776. That's next on the Land Rover Postgame Show on ESPN LA.
Football Sunday on ESPN Radio. The Vikings, led by Case Keenum, are red hot and rolling in the NFC North with 8 straight wins.
Yeah, anytime you're successful, I think that breeds confidence.
With only 1 loss on the road this season, they face a Carolina Panthers D ranked 6th in total offense. Can Cam Newton get a clutch win and keep pace with the Saints in the NFC South?
We just have to be optimistic of our opportunities.
Football Sunday. Vikings, Panthers, noon Eastern on ESPN Radio.
How you doing there? Beautiful car, isn't she?
Yeah, what's the price?
Yeah, 93 late nights at the office. Well, plus tax, of course.
93 late nights? Oh, my budget's more like 78.
Oh, let me talk to the boss, see what I could do.
While other insurance companies just see a car, we see something you worked really hard for. So why not give it the protection it deserves?
Well, now, he's never done this before, but he says I could do 90 late nights and some free air fresheners.
Deal.
State Farm. Call an agent today.
ESPN's David Lloyd.
A few years back, our 3-year-old girl started falling down for no reason a lot. And she was cute. She'd pop up and say, I'm okay, but she wasn't. An MRI would show that she had a tumor in the back of her brain. And just like that, she was a cancer patient. She had 9 hours of surgery and then 15 months of chemotherapy. And we've been white-knuckling it through MRIs ever since. And we are immensely grateful. Right now, Eden has been off treatment for over 3 years, but we know that it's not a given that that is going to continue. And all of us are hanging on the promise that newer, better treatments are in the pipeline. The V Foundation is dedicated to making that a reality.
Join ESPN and the V Foundation in the fight against cancer. Visit v.org/donate. All donations benefit the V Foundation for Cancer Research.
This is the Land Rover Postgame Show. Highlights from tonight's Lakers game and your reaction on the Lakers line.
Hey, it's Lonzo Ball on ESPN, LA 710.
Come along for the ride. It's Lakers basketball.
The Land Rover Postgame Show.
Your Southern California Land Rover retailers. Visit them for special lease and finance offers. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Once again, here's Travis Rogers and Brian Kamenetsky.
Lakers with a win, 107-104. They improved to 9-15 on the year. Next up, the Charlotte Hornets. By the way, I'm still have to pump the brakes every time I talk about Charlotte. I'm like, are they the Hornets again, or were they still the Bobcats or the Pelicans? It's still all very confusing.
Bob Johnson doesn't own the team anymore.
Right.
Like, that's the easiest. Like, I think they call themselves the Bobcats in part because
I think that's right.
Yeah, which, by the way, is a totally boss move.
It's look, you can do whatever you want when you're
going to be the Bobcats.
Right.
What's your name? I'm Bob.
Nice to meet you, Bob of the Bobcats. Yeah, no, I'd roll like
the
that
Charlotte
too.
Bobcats? Yes.
Duke in Los Angeles. Duke,
really?
You are up next on the Land Rover Postgame Show.
How's it going, fellas?
Good. What's up?
There's one stat I want to start paying attention to, and it's how many field goal attempts Brandon Ingram is taking per game. Because to me, physically and with his skill set, he's our best offensive guy. And Lopez and Pope may very well not be on the team next year. We drafted him to be a scorer. I just think that when he's taking about 17 to 20, mid-20 field goal attempts per game, we're tough to beat. I see him some games taking 10 field goal attempts, and I see guys on NBA coming off NBA benches taking 10 field goal attempts, and it's frustrating to me because I know he can take this guy on any given night. So that's one stat I'd like, Luke to start telling him to pay attention to and look for his shot more.
Yeah, thanks, Duke. Appreciate the phone call.
Vamp for a second, because I want to look up a number here.
Brandon Ingram takes 13 shots a game on average. Mm-hmm. He's averaging 12.9 field goal attempts per game. And I'll be honest, I think you get into trouble when you say we need to get X player X amount of shots. I don't think you want to do that.
And I know Luke Walton doesn't want him thinking that way either. He wants him to just go out and play ball.
That being said, I think I agree with Duke that I would have no problem with Brandon Ingram taking more shots than he does. Because to me, and he just said this, the Lakers don't have a quote-unquote scorer. There's no Lou Williams. There's no Nick Young. There's nobody that's just going to go out there and get buckets because that's what they do. He's the closest thing they have. So if he put up 18 or 19 shots a game, I wouldn't have a huge problem with that.
Not a big deal. But, I mean, they are now, 9 and 15? This is so the stat isn't totally updated yet, and it'll actually rise because he took 21 tonight. When in wins, he takes about a shot more, factoring in tonight's game. About a shot more a night when they win. Mm-hmm. It's not a huge difference, but it's something. The big thing to look at is heading into the night. In wins, Brandon Ingram shoots 48%. In losses, 45%. So to Duke's point, to some degree, how well Ingram plays offensively, how efficient he is, seems to be an indicator of how well the Lakers are going to do.
What happened with Kyle Kuzma tonight? Just a weird, he's been really good and more or less pretty consistent with them. He didn't get a lot of time tonight, just 19 minutes, 1 of 7 from the floor, a couple of rebounds, just 3 points, just one of those things, just didn't play well.
He didn't play great, and, Randall, it's a better match, especially once the Lakers' bigs started getting into foul trouble. You need somebody sturdy in there to play up against Embiid. That's going to be Randall. And, look, there are a lot of good players at that position the Lakers have. It doesn't have to be Kyle Kuzma every night if Kuzma isn't bringing it in the way that the Lakers expect. We saw it the other night where Luke sat him because his defense wasn't to the level he played at. And I don't have a problem with the coaching staff making sure he understands that he's accountable and doesn't get to skate because he's the rookie of the month.
I agree with you. I want him out there as often as possible with the carve-out if he's doing something that they have explicitly said they need from him that he's not doing, or they've explicitly said none of that and he's doing it. There need to be some hard and fast rules for a young player, but as long as he's giving you effort, as long as he's doing what you're asking him to do, or at least the effort in that particular channel is where it's supposed to be, he needs to be out there. If it's for reasons like, hey, look, we're asking you to play defense and get this rotation, if it's something like that, I'm with it. Otherwise, I want to see him out there because I've been told this season is about developing and getting better. They're going to be better with him on the court than without him. Let's play him. You can't have it both ways.
He's playing a fair amount.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if he plays 16 minutes a night for the next month, you got a problem. If he plays 27 one night, 17 another, 31 the next after that, you don't have to get too worried about the outliers.
Yeah.
But Nance is the kind of guy who, of the three, is the sort of the least sexy name to put out there. He does, the skill set is, he's not flying other than the dunks. He's not
he can dunk.
Sort of flying all over the place, and he's not scoring in bunches. And Randall, if nothing else, is kind of hard not to watch.
Oh, he's great.
He's
to watch.
doing stuff, and it's like there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, and some of it's like, well, no, and then some of it's
wow,
yeah.
Right. And so of that three, you look at Nance, and you're like, well, the ceiling is the lowest and all that, and whatever. But he's still a pretty good player. And on nights like tonight, where he shoots, where he makes himself somebody you at least have to pay attention to, he's effective. He did it the other night too. It's those 4-shot games from Larry Nance where he doesn't, can't have that.
The McDonald's Defensive Play of the Game is brought to you by McDonald's. Get McDelivery now on the Uber Eats app. Delivery prices may be higher than at restaurants, and booking fee applies. Tonight's Defensive Play of the Game, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope.
Reddick's got it at the free throw line. The Lakers steal it. Poked away, grabbed by Ingram. Ingram into the front court. Ingram still dribbling. Ingram gets almost pocket-picked by Covington, but he gets free. Pulls up, 17-footer. Good.
I really like saying Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. That's a great name to say.
It really is.
It's fun.
All people should be named that.
Yeah,
we should all have names
it's musical,
as cool.
It's rhythmic.
Yeah, and it's that. What is it? 4-2-1. Yeah, 4-2-1.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a
keep losing
like a
half
musical,
of it.
right?
Yeah, it works. It works. He as your defensive player of the night. The Lakers win 107-104. Charlotte coming up next. This was Game 4 of a 4-game trip. They go to play the Knicks in the Garden, and they close out their 4-game roadie in Cleveland against LeBron, who is the hottest team in basketball right now. We're back with more on the Land Rover Postgame Show on ESPN LA.
I just saved hundreds of dollars by switching to Geico. I'm so happy, I feel like I can fly.
Disclaimer, you will not be able to fly by switching to Geico. This is against the laws of physics and nature. If you find yourself flying, please seek professional and or medical help immediately. In the unlikely event you find yourself flying, you might be a superhero, or a pigeon, or a superhero named Pidgewoman, who was bitten by a radioactive pigeon. If you are indeed Pidgewoman, Geico retains all licensing publishing rights in the event Pidgewoman the movie becomes a top-grossing Hollywood blockbuster.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Mike Golick here. Friday, the new head coach of the Nebraska Cornhuskers, Scott Frost, joins. Plus, Field Yates and Jalen Rose stop by as well. It's Golick and Wingo, Friday, starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
ESPN's Kevin Connors.
The night before my wedding day, I got a text from, of all people, Flip Saunders. And he sent just the nicest note you could get, encouraging me to soak up every part of the day and to cherish my bride. And when he fell ill, I sent him a text saying how much I was praying for him, and I still have the note he sent back. He said, I'm on the right path and will be ready to go for training camp. And 2 months later, he was gone. And I just couldn't believe it. Such a good man, such a gift to basketball, and such a loss. I've lost my grandfather, my aunt, and my friend Flip to cancer, and I urge you to do whatever you can to help us beat this dreadful disease. It can happen. It will happen. Please help us make it happen.
Join ESPN and the V Foundation in the fight against cancer. Visit v.org/donate. All donations benefit the V Foundation for Cancer Research.
A Land Rover postgame show. Highlights from tonight's Lakers game and your reaction on the Lakers line.
Hi, this is Luke Walton on ESPN LA 710 and the ESPN app.
The Land Rover postgame show.
Your Southern California Land Rover retailers. Visit them for special lease and finance offers. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Once again, here's Travis Rogers and Brian Kamenetsky.
Lakers with a win in Philly, 107-104, and the only bad news is that these two teams are not going to play again for the rest of the season. The 2 times they've played both been a lot of fun. They split the season series 1 game apiece, both team winning on the road. The Universal Studios Hollywood star of the game is presented by Universal Studios Hollywood. Spend Christmas at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, November 24th through January 7th, only at Universal Studios Hollywood. Tonight's star of the game, an easy one, Brandon Ingram.
Rebound Lonzo. Lonzo on a breakaway. Lonzo backs it out. 8 seconds to go in the game. No timeout. Ingram to Lonzo. Drives to the basket. Back to Ingram. 3-pointer for the win. It's good. It's good. Brandon Ingram buries it. 0.8 on the clock. The Lakers lead 107-104. And this building is in shock. Wow.
Big shot from Brandon Ingram there. He spoke with the crew at Spectrum Sportsnet after the game.
B.I., first off, congratulations. I know you guys needed that win. Take me through that last 11 seconds, the maturity, you and Lonzo not panicking, getting a great shot out of that possession.
Well, first of all, he's an incredible player. And I think in those situations, he knew to make the right play. And I saw him open first, and he decided to drive the basketball. He made an open pass, and I just had the confidence to try to shoot a shot and knock it down.
B.I., what have you guys learned in the last 6 games as far as keeping your poise when you have a lead and closing a game out? Because tonight, it was a perfect example of that.
First, we need defensive stops. I think tonight we were still locked in the last 3 or 4 minutes in the game, and of course we didn't make shots on the offensive end, but we tried to get stops on the defensive end. Julius did a really good job of attacking the rim. He knocked down some free throws. He got to the rim and finished strong, and it was incredible. It was incredible for us to just stay poised in situations like that, because we knew in these last 5 games we had a good chance of winning them. Yep. So it was good for us to get this win.
Go ahead, Fish.
That's great stuff. B.I.D. Fish.
Congratulations on that game-winning bucket tonight, man. Tell me how good it's been for you to just focus on playing your game this year while everybody's screaming about Lonzo being good or bad. Brandon Ingram's been able to just be B.I. and play basketball. How has that felt this year compared to last season?
Oh, it's felt really good. I think I'm gaining confidence every single game that I play. My teammates is giving me confidence every time I step out on the basketball floor to take those shots and get to the rim. And I just feel more comfortable to get to my jumper, more comfortable to get to the rim. I missed a few free throws tonight, but I've been comfortable on the free throw line also. So I give that to my teammates and the coach for giving me the confidence to do those things.
B.I., it was interesting before you guys headed out on the road. You guys had that losing streak, and there was a lot of tough losses in there. Some games you guys definitely felt you should have won. We asked Luke after practice, what was the key to this tough stretch of games coming up? And he mentioned you guys sticking together, because when you go out on the road, that's all you have. What did we learn about this team tonight?
We had to stay together, and we stayed together through the whole fourth quarter tonight. And guys, everybody did something well tonight, whether it was Larry on the offensive boards or defensive boards. Julius getting to the rim. Brooke was really good tonight. Jordan was really good tonight. Everybody pitched in tonight, and that's important for us to keep winning on this road.
B.I., last thing for me. Do you think you're the closer on this team? Did it feel that way tonight?
Oh, that's something that I want to be, and something that I dream to be on this team. And every time I step out on the floor, I just have the confidence to try to close the game. So, to put in perspective, I do think I am.
You're okay. You know, you're all right for a Duke guy. Starting to like you, man.
You're really starting to like him, aren't you, Big Game?
Hey, congratulations, man.
I appreciate you.
We'll see you in Charlotte.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big Game James will be.
Yeah, that Carolina Duke stuff runs deep, doesn't it?
I'm not sure he's totally off the fence, though.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
James likes him, but there's still a little something there.
He's a Dookie. Yeah. It's hard to get on board if you're a Carolina
I gotta
guy.
be honest with you. I didn't go to either one of those schools. I don't like the Duke guys either.
There is something oddly, what's the word? They're hard to root for. They're hard to root for.
And there's nothing wrong with you know what it is?
Nothing.
It's the Grayson Allens of the world.
Yeah. Let's be honest. It's the Wojciechowskis and the Chris Collins and those guys. The floor slappers.
Duke.
Yeah. Christian Laettner.
We go to Duke.
Yes, the elites.
Yes, with our crazies in our tiny arena.
It's a pretty good atmosphere.
Coached by our emeritus coach, K.
That guy's going to be there forever. That school's going to crumble around him.
Do yourself a favor if you haven't seen this list. Go Google it. Somebody put it out the other day. Who is the major college football coaches the year that Duke hired Mike Krzyzewski? Bear Bryant was a coach.
Really?
Still. Yes. Bear Bryant.
Bear Bryant. That guy with the hat.
Yeah, I think Dan Devine, was the coach at Notre Dame.
Was John McKay coaching the Trojans?
It's Newt Rockne. I mean, it's crazy. You just go look it up. It gives you an idea of how long Coach K has been at this place.
That is really, really funny. I'm going to have to check that out. 107-104. That is your final score. The Lakers win. They open up their road trip with a win against the Sixers. And Charlotte is next on Saturday afternoon. The Lakers will be looking to get to double digits on the season for their wins. They are 9-15. For Brian Kamenetsky, I am Travis Rogers, and this has been the Land Rover Postgame Show on ESPN LA.
You've been listening to tonight's Land Rover Postgame Show.
Your Southern California Land Rover retailers. Visit them for special lease and finance offers. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Lakers basketball, presented by
Pizza Hut. Get a large 2-topping pizza with pizza delivered for just $7.99 when you order online. Only at Pizza Hut. Gardens Casino, featuring 220 flat-screen TVs, 24 California craft beers on tap, and an upscale bar and lounge with handcrafted cocktails. Located off the 605 and Carson Street. Please play responsibly. The Gardens Casino, best play in L.A.
In-N-Out Burger. That's what a hamburger's all about.
Universal Studios Hollywood. Spend Christmas at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, November 24th through January 7th. Only at Universal Studios Hollywood. LA Car Guide. LA Car Guide. Check out monthly specials and browse the inventory of all 11 LA Car Guide dealerships in one website. LACarguide.com.
Get closer to Lakers basketball right here. The Lakers play here. ESPN LA 710 and the ESPN app.